that, I'm reminded that the only way you can support both Donald Trump and Jesus is if you've never read either one of their books. Because, friends, the only things Donald Trump has in common with Jesus is that they both spent a lot of time with prostitutes and they both used ghostwriters. But the reality is there's a reason why this week means so much. And even for our atheist and non-Christian friends, the story alone, you don't need to take the divinity as literal fact to actually see the beauty and the power in the restoration and nonviolence of this story of Holy Week. When Jesus says to Pilate, "My kingdom is not of this earth," that probably helps get him killed, because the Roman Empire killed people for less than that. He was a spark. He shows up on Sunday to begin Holy Week on Palm Sunday, not like the Romans showed up with chariots and horses and armies and gold and weapons. He shows up on a donkey, and they're hailing him as a king. It's really like the greatest act of satire in the entire Bible. This homeless Jewish mystic faith healer is virtually mocking the pomp that surrounds the armies of Caesar, because you're either standing up to Caesar or you're capitulating to him, like Paula White. So by 2 days later, he's having the rebellion inside the temple, the protest, that he's flipping tables over the way that some extreme conservative religious bosses collaborated with the empire to exploit the poor. And then by Holy Thursday, the night he's arrested, he gives the greatest parable he gives, the goats and the sheep, where he says individuals and nations are going to be judged, heaven or hell, by how they care for the poor, care for the sick, welcome the stranger, and take care of those in prison. They arrest him. And by the end of the week, it's the saddest story you've ever read. It's a story of complete collapse. This guy was so much hope, and now everyone turns on him, right? His own friends sell him out. His friends deny they know him. Except for the women, everyone bails on Jesus. People who are hailing him as a king on Sunday are calling for his death by Friday. And he's brutally executed. The original innocent brown-skinned man executed by the state in the most painful and humiliating of ways. And then he comes back. And he doesn't come back for revenge. After this collapse and fear takes over, he comes back not for vengeance. He comes back for love. He forgives everyone who sold him out. He doesn't seek any kind of payback. Despair says, this is how it always is, right? Nothing changes. But the Easter story says this is how it always is, and we can still change it. If you're in despair at the state of America, I get it. The Easter story doesn't tell you to ignore that despair, but you got to remember, like, everything failed this guy. The system crushed him. And then there's another chapter, and that's the story. It doesn't mean everything's going to magically get better. It means the story's not finished, and neither are we. You don't need to believe any of the Bible as literal fact to draw incredible faith and sustenance and hope from this story and from all of Holy Week.